Bonjour à tous et bienvenue. Welcome to this special event. This is Black Friday, c'est Vendredi Noir. Et aujourd'hui, je suis là pour vous expliquer un petit peu ce que c'est Coffee Break French. I'm here to tell you a little about Coffee Break French today. Now, we're broadcasting on YouTube, and in YouTube, it's a Coffee Break Languages channel. So this is a general channel for everyone involved in Coffee Break Languages. But this particular session is about French. And basically, I'm going to be focusing on Coffee Break French for the next half hour or so. And we're also broadcasting on our Coffee Break French Facebook page. So, bonjour à tous. Welcome to everyone who's watching there. The event will be available afterwards. I realize it's quite early in the day in some parts of the world. Equally, it's quite late in the day in other parts of the world. But wherever you are watching, whether it's live or after the event, you're very welcome, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you have. Let me just check that everything is working. First of all, we should be able to see this slide. So I have a question for you. J'ai une question pour vous. Comment vous appelez-vous et d'où regardez-vous? So, what is your name and where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. We've got Fergus here who is joining us. I'm not sure where Fergus is watching, but what a great podcast. I hope everyone is having une bonne journée, good day. It's quite interesting there. We've got bonjour, so the word jour is the word for day, and we would say bonjour, good day. But when we're referring to the whole day, the length of the day, then we use the word journée, and it's a feminine word. So we say bonne journée, B-O-N-N-E, journée, bonne journée. Très bien. So let us know where you're watching, and indeed if you are learning French. So over the next half hour or so, as I say, I'm going to be talking about Coffee Break French. And this is one of a series of webinars that we're doing today. Yes, there is a webinar every hour for the next 5 hours, so I'm going to be busy. We're talking about French right now, 1 p.m. UK time, 8 a.m. Eastern. And then we'll be moving on to German at 2 p.m. today, and Italian at 3 p.m., Spanish at 4 p.m., and Swedish at 5 p.m. So if you're learning another language, then do join in when it comes the particular time. We'll be broadcasting all of these on YouTube and indeed on our individual Facebook pages for each of these languages. So if at any point you've got a question, then do let me know. I can read the question out and answer your questions as we go. So if you've got a question about our courses, then today is the perfect time to have an answer to your question. Okay, let's get started then, because what we're talking about, as we've said already, is French. We have a number of resources for Coffee Break French learners, and the idea of all of these resources is the same. Basically, no matter what level you're at, no matter which course you're working on, everything is based around the idea of learning French, improving your French, becoming an advanced speaker of French on your coffee break, or if you're walking the dog or at the gym or in the car, wherever you are doing something else, you can also be learning French along with me as your teacher and our team of French teachers and native speakers who will help you improve your French on your coffee break. So we've got a range of content available, and the content starts with our seasons, our main seasons of our course. So each season features 40 lessons. And the 40 lessons are based around coffee breaks. So the idea is that each time it's like spending 20 minutes with your friend who happens to be a French teacher and can help you learn French as you go through your day. So season 1 is for absolute beginners and working up to season 4 for upper intermediate learners. I'll be going through each of these seasons, explaining everything involved a little bit later. So I'll just cover the main range of what we have at this moment. We also have other courses, shorter courses, our magazine courses and Verb Fix and Coffee Break French en route. These are all 10-lesson courses, and the courses allow you to, again, build your French, become more familiar with the language, increase your knowledge of grammar. And likewise, we have our travel diaries and our reading club. So the travel diaries are, again, seasons of 10 lessons. And the reading club is a series of 52 reading lessons with reading practice and exercises and so on. Again, I'm going to go through each of these in detail as we work through our webinar today. So to begin with, I should also mention our advanced course, and that is La Vérité éclate toujours, a course based around a novel that we have created, and a novel that lets you improve your advanced French and really get into the details of the language. Again, I'll explain all that in a moment. And that comes in 4 parts. I should have mentioned that too. So, coming back to season 1 then. So, season 1, this is Coffee Break French season 1. If we just remember those courses here. So, these are our 4 courses. I'm going to look first of all at season 1. Again, any questions at any point, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So, season 1 is for absolute beginners, or if you consider yourself a false beginner, perhaps you did French many moons ago and you're coming back to French to improve your French, to pick up where you left off. Season 1 will take you from the very beginnings of the language. We'll be looking at transactional language, the kind of French that you need to be able to use if you're on a trip to a French-speaking country. And that transactional language will help you get by. But this is not a course where you're just learning some phrases. It's a course where, of course, you'll learn phrases, but you'll also learn how to create those phrases and what those phrases actually mean, so that you can then adapt them and manipulate them and use them in different ways so that you're actually learning the language. You're not just doing an app exercise or something like that. You're really learning the language in order to be able to use it effectively in lots of different situations. You learn greetings. You learn to talk about yourselves. You'll learn practical language for travel, for example. You will be introduced to the grammar of French, and this will help you build strong foundations so that you can build on these at a later date. This way, you'll improve your French, you'll understand from the beginning, and you'll build these strong foundations so that everything that you learn beyond that will make sense and will take you further. So that is season 1. Now, it comes as a free podcast, so you can access our audio lessons on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, but there is much more to season 1, and that is our online course, where we provide audio lessons, but you also get video lessons where you see the words on the screen and all the explanations of the language. You have lesson notes, and the lesson notes are the PDF documents which you can go through yourself. You can take your own notes on these. And we also provide bonus audio materials and quizzes to help you test yourself and what you've learned. So typically, season 1 would take you the length of time you want it to take. You can make this an intense course and perhaps do one lesson every couple of days. Or you can take your time at it and one day do the audio lesson, perhaps the next day do the video lesson, work on the lesson notes another day, and really make one lesson last 1 week. When we first broadcast season 1, we broadcast it on a weekly basis so that you were getting a new lesson each week, and you could have that week to work through and consolidate what you've learned. So, this is season 1. This is all available within the Coffee Break Academy. This is our platform where you can access all of the materials that we provide. Season 2 takes things further. So we're going to be looking at further practical situations. So this is our, wrong slide. Here we go. This is, let me just do one thing here. There we go. So looking at season 2, the second stage here, we're looking at further practical situations, so more situations where you would use the language, again, talking about things like daily routine, where you need to use particular types of verbs in French. You may be familiar with reflexive verbs, je me lève, je me brosse les dents, je me lave, and so on. So we're learning to use reflexive verbs. We're looking in more detail at the grammar of the language. So we're taking an in-depth study of that, meaning that we're going to really understand how the language works, how we can use it, how we can bring it together and make new sentences. We'll be looking at a variety of tenses. So you'll be able to talk in the present tense. You'll be able to talk about what's happening today. You'll be able to ask questions about when the performance at the theatre begins and things like that. But we'll also be talking about the past. So you'll learn to use different past tenses, the perfect tense, the imperfect tense for different situations. You'll also learn to talk about the perfect tense, to talk about what you did, or the imperfect tense to talk about how things were at a particular time, what the weather was like, for example. You'll also be introduced to the future tense in season 2 and start to learn how this works. And you'll bring all of this together and learn to manipulate the language in such a way that you can create exactly what you want to say when you want to say it. We'll be helping you extend your knowledge of not just the French language, but of Francophone culture. So you'll be learning more about different parts of the French speaking world. And this way, you will be able to develop your knowledge further and know more about the culture of the language. What I would say is that when you know more about the culture of the language, it gives, when I say the culture of the language, obviously I'm referring to the culture of the language as it's spoken in different parts of the French speaking world. We're not talking about French culture, we'll talk about Belgian culture and Swiss culture and African French culture and Canadian French culture and so on. So, knowing about these things helps you make more communication with native speakers because that way you know more about the world around you and you can use that culture in what you're saying. At the end of season 2, there's also a soap opera, and this gives you the chance to follow a story. And through following that story, you're learning to use the language in greater detail, and you're putting into practice what we covered in the main lessons, as it were, in lessons 1 to 30 of season 2. So season 2, again, 40 lessons, and we can work through these 40 lessons together. Moving on then, so we move on from season 2 to season 3. So season 3 then, sorry, I'm jumping about here. Season 2 again, we've got free podcast with audio lessons, and in addition to the free podcast, we also have the online course offering those audio lessons, video lessons, lesson notes, bonus audio, and the quizzes. So as I said, we can move on to season 3 in a moment, but what I would like to do just now is jump back to a couple of other courses that we have which come in before moving on to season 3, because season 3 is a more advanced course. So if you've completed season 2, or if you're at this intermediate level and you want more practice, then we offer some different materials here. And one of these is our Coffee Break French magazine. And this is where you can consolidate the language that you've learned in seasons 1 and 2. Again, looking at cultural topics. You're building your understanding of grammar because it's giving you a chance to see the language in practice. You're exposed to new vocabulary that is linked again to the topics that we cover. And you're developing a cultural awareness through all of these texts that we have created based around our Coffee Break French magazine. This, again, has an online course with audio lessons, lesson notes, vocabulary, and exercises, helping you build your knowledge of the language in a more effective way. We also have our travel diaries, and the travel diaries are a little lower level. They are probably around A2 into B1 level. I'll be talking a little about where the level of all of the courses are in just a moment. So the travel diaries will help you, again, consolidate what you've learned in the main seasons. Once again, you'll be building your understanding of grammar. You've got this new vocabulary, and because we're travelling around in different French-speaking places, you will again be building your cultural awareness. You'll be finding out about different places, about the history of these places, about things that went on there, and so on. And these travel diaries are a great way to practice your French with enjoyable stories as you're following the adventures of our characters in the travel diaries. And with the travel diaries, we have audio lessons, lesson notes, and pronunciation practice videos, which gives you the chance to practice your pronunciation as you're working through the videos. We also have our Coffee Break French Reading Club. Now, the Reading Club is a great way to do a little bit of learning on a regular basis. We provide weekly texts for 1 year. So every week you'll get a new text, allowing you to build your reading skills, also allowing you to build your listening skills, because the texts also provide an audio version of these texts. And that way you can listen along as you read and develop, once again, your cultural awareness. It's all about exposing yourself to the culture of the French-speaking world. And with the online course, we have the text plus vocabulary, we have exercises associated with each text, and there's an audio version which allows you to listen to the slow version of the reading and a normal speed version of the reading. So each text is published, as I said, once per week for a whole year, so 52 texts in the Reading Club. And we actually have 2 seasons of the Reading Club. Let's see if I can bring that slide on the screen Yes, so we've got the Coffee Break French Reading Club and then the Reading Club Season 2, which will allow you to continue to practice your French over another 52 weeks. So if you've already done Reading Club Season 1, then consider Coffee Break French Reading Club Season 2. One of our other courses is En route avec Coffee Break French, and this is a wonderful course. It's all set in the south of France, and it's basically a journey through the south of France where we talk to native speakers, we talk about the people who are living and working there, we interview lots of interesting people and find out different ideas, different cultural points, different geographical points and historical things along the coast of between Nice and the Italian border. So there's video content, there is bonus audio content, texts and vocabulary for En route. It's a wonderful way to get some real authentic practice. And then, having completed those, we're now looking at our other seasons. So season 3 is story-based learning. Basically, we're looking at we're following the course of a story over the 40 chapters of the season. And this will allow you to get more deeply into the grammar. We'll be looking at practical examples of the language used and constantly consolidating everything that you have been working through. So season 3 has a range of materials within the course as well. And season 4, again, is based on story-based learning. We're looking at complex grammar, idiomatic expressions, extending your vocabulary. And all of this will allow you to improve your knowledge of French. If you're at a very high level, then you may be interested in our La Vérité éclate toujours course, which is a course for advanced learners. And the whole idea is that it's based around a novel, again, taking this idea of story-based learning further. And with La Vérité éclate toujours, it's story-based learning times 100, as I've said. It's basically like reading a French novel, only with all the support that you need. So this is native level language with grammar that is that native speakers will understand and vocabulary that is a native level. But of course, we're there to help you with all of the resources. And there's lots of additional materials available within the LVED, La Vérité éclate toujours course. We've got the text of the chapter, the annotated text with lots of notes explaining everything about the text. Then 3 or 4 language study episodes for each chapter, in which we go through the language, talk through the whole presentation, and explain everything in there and discuss the intricacies of the grammar and so on. There's a video version of the chapter where you can read as you listen, vocabulary lists, and then our Atelier Linguistique, which is an opportunity to take some of the interesting language from within the chapter and talk about it in a more in a deeper way, perhaps in a more everyday use. So we'll take some expressions from the chapter and then explain them in different contexts and give you more examples of how these phrases are used in daily life. So those are our French courses, a huge selection of French courses, as I've said. Our seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, our magazine, which is available in 2 seasons, our Verb Fix. I've not mentioned that. That's a course specifically on 10 of the most common French verbs and how they're used in lots of different tenses. Well, I say 10, it's 10 episodes, but there's different verbs covered in these episodes. We've got En route avec Coffee Break French that I mentioned in the south of France, our reading club, 2 seasons of that, and 2 seasons of our travel diaries. And one of the questions that we get most is, where does all of this fit? How does this, which course should I do based on where I am in my learning of French? Well, this is where I'm going to take me off the screen just now so that you can see this. There we go. So at the moment, this slide here refers to the European Framework of Reference for Language Learning. And it's like a journey. So basically we're going along this road and stopping off at different points on the way where you start and you become a beginner. So A1 level is beginner's level. Then you move on to an upper beginner level, moving on then to lower intermediate at B1, and then upper intermediate at B2, and then an advanced level at C1. And there's also a C2, which is pretty much a native level of language. So in terms of our courses, this is where they come. Coffee Break French Season 1 is very much beginner's content. So if you're a complete beginner, you can use Coffee Break French Season 1. Moving on to upper beginners, pushing into lower intermediate, we've got Coffee Break French Season 2. And then season 3 comes at that B1, B2 level. So you're moving on from lower intermediate into upper intermediate. And then finally, once we get to season 4, we're at this upper intermediate level, pushing towards a C1 level of the language. Now, we also have these other courses, and our travel diaries come around the A2 level, our magazine into B1. En route is a little more challenging than that. Some of the elements of en route are a little easier, some are more difficult, but that's B1, B2. And then La Vérité éclate toujours, very much a C1 course. So if you're ever wondering where the best place to start with Coffee Break is, then hopefully that helps you get an idea of which level, which course you should be working on. Now, yes, that's the right button I was pressing there. I was confused which button to press. So what I would like to do just now is answer any questions that you have about any of our courses. If you do have a question about the courses, if you're not sure what level you would be at, perhaps you want to ask that, I'll be happy to answer that. And if you have any other questions, obviously you can post them in the chat and we'll answer these questions. Phil is saying, what's Anna doing these days? I wondered what she would be up to. Anna's not working with us anymore, but she is very well, and I will pass on your regards, Phil. Anna worked with us when we were doing our Coffee Break French course in season 1 and season 2. And since then, she's moved on to other things, and we have built a team of French teachers and native speakers who are all working on our new courses. So, as I say, if you've got any questions about our courses, please do post them in the chat. I'll give you some time to come up with any questions. But what I wanted to mention too is the fact that obviously this is Black Friday. The purpose of this is to give you some information about our courses within the context of our Black Friday sale. So if I just bring these slides back on the screen, and what is important is that over the course of the next 3 or 4 days, let me see if I've just got this. I don't know whether I've got this slide here. I don't seem to have the slide here, but not to worry. Over the course of the next few days, I've realised. There we are, I'm back on the screen. We are offering a 40% discount on all our courses. So looking at one of our main seasons, this is Coffee Break French Season 1. The normal price for that in the UK would be £108, and that includes VAT. We have to charge whatever local sales tax is involved. In the UK, that's VAT. The rest of Europe, that will be VAT. And then also local sales taxes in certain states in the US and so on. So £108 in the UK, but at the moment that's down to £64.80. So that's the 40% discount applied and saving you a huge amount of money at the moment. Looking at the US pricing, so $124, and again with our Black Friday discount it's $74. So you're saving 40% on these courses. Those are our main courses, and we do offer bundles of the courses as well. So if you want to bundle the courses together, then you can also get the discount on that. Taking another example, one of our shorter courses, our Coffee Break French magazine. So that would normally be £36 in the UK. Currently it's £21.60 because of the Black Friday pricing. The $42 in the US is down to $25.20. So you get the idea, 40% off all of our courses. Now, each part of La Vérité éclate toujours, you saw all the different elements of that. Each part of that costs £90, including VAT, down to $54, or $100 down to $60. And if you want to buy the complete course of La Vérité éclate toujours, if you're an advanced learner and you want to work through something over the next year, then you would pay £360 normally, including VAT, and that's down to $216 at the moment. I don't think... Yeah, we do have US pricing for that. So $400 down to $240. So huge savings at the moment. And there's no limit to the number of times you can use the code. So if you want to buy all of our French materials, then you can get 40% off everything. You just buy them individually on the website and work through them at your leisure. A lifetime of language learning there. And this week would be the best week to buy these. Now, that's today. The key thing is that you need to know what the coupon code is for all of this. And I don't seem to strangely have a slide for this. Let me see if I've got the slide here. I wonder, no, that's not the right slide. Yes, there we go. So we got there eventually. The coupon code that you need to enter at checkout is BF22, and by entering that code, you will get the 40% off the cost of the course. And again, sorry, I'm working out what's going on here. Is this no wrong slide? I don't know what's going on. Sorry about this. Here we go, right, we'll stick on this one because it works. So if you use that BF22 code, then you'll get 40% off all of our courses at the moment. Now, this sale runs until Monday. It closes on Monday at midnight, so Monday evening. And at that point, the code will no longer work, so you have to make sure you've used this code before then to ensure that you're going to benefit from getting 40% off all of the courses. And another question that we've had is, are we going to be taking more off on Monday? Is it worth waiting until Monday? Absolutely not. This is it. This has been it since the Monday past, and it's going to be it until Monday. It's a fantastic deal, and there's going to be no additional bonus or anything like that. It's 40% off. We would never let people buy on Friday and then charge a cheaper price for that on Monday. That's not the way we do things. It's 40% off this whole week. And the code is BF22 if you would like to use that code. Right, we do have some questions, which is great. Let me see. So I'm just rolling back here. So Connor is asking, will there be any more Verb Fix? I always feel like accuracy in verbs holds me back, but I'm too indolent to sit down and study the old-fashioned way. So the Verb Fix, we're not planning to do another season of that, mainly because we've been doing different types of learning materials. And we have been doing a lot of video content recently, which will be getting published pretty soon, but you'll need to stick around for that. But that will definitely help you review your verbs and build your confidence in verbs. So the option there is very much to work on the content that we've already got. Sorry, I'm just distracted by some annoying spam posts on the YouTube. If the team can make sure that those are blocked. So yeah, Verb Fix won't be coming back, but we will be doing more focus on verbs and other things. The thing about verbs is, the more you read, the more you get exposed to the language, the more the verbs will just become second nature to you. And you'll know the endings automatically. The endings are so predictable in French. Obviously, there are irregular verbs, but even the irregular verbs have very similar endings. So it's all about kind of finding the stem of a verb, and once you've worked out the stem of the verb, then all the endings fall into place. But the best way to do this, and the best way to build your confidence in verbs, is by reading and hearing and listening and seeing lots of these verbs in context. So if you can read more, and we've suggested many opportunities for you to read within all of our courses, then hopefully that will help. Norma is saying, I think I'm at the intermediate level, would like more practice in speaking and understanding spoken French, especially fast spoken French. Norma, if you've not already listened to our En route course, I think that would be a great place to start, because it's made up of natural conversations. But the great thing is you obviously get the transcript, and you can work through the transcript and understand everything that's being said. So definitely check out the En route course, which I think would really help you understand native speakers. Obviously, when we're interviewing native speakers in the streets and so on, they're going to use their normal speed of language. We're not asking them to speak slowly or anything like that. So that's a good opportunity for you. And we've also got Coffee Break French to Go. I've not mentioned that, but Coffee Break French to Go, again, is a series of interviews with native speakers. Some of the videos are available on YouTube, but we have a course version of that with transcripts and explanations and lesson notes and so on. So check out Coffee Break French to Go on the Coffee Break Academy. Now, I'll just put coffeebreakacademy.com here on the screen. And that's where you can go to access all our courses. But if you want to find out more about our Black Friday sale, then there's that address up there, coffeebreaklanguages.com/BF2022. Sorry, BF22. And that's where you can access all the information you need about our Black Friday sale. But the courses themselves are at coffeebreakacademy.com. So I'll put that one up there because we've still got some other questions. So Pravesh is saying, premium member of all seasons from India. Thank you, Pravesh, that's great. But lagging motivation to complete them. Can travel diaries or magazines help me out? Definitely. What we always say is that as you're working through the seasons, obviously the seasons are 40 lessons long, so there's quite a big chunk of learning to do. But the travel diaries will come in at probably around the middle of season 2. Our magazine would come around the end of season 2 into season 3, that kind of level. So you're able to continue with a shorter course and complete the shorter course, giving you motivation to continue with our main courses. So hopefully that helps you, Pravesh, and you'll be able to experience all of that through and not lose your motivation as quickly. TMHC72 is saying, are there sample lessons we can look at? Peter, thank you. I read your question first before getting to your actual name. So Peter, yes, there are. If you go to coffeebreakacademy.com, then you select any of the courses and you'll see some sample lessons there, and you can have a look at that. Lisa is saying, I already took advantage of the Black Friday discount 3 times. Très, très bien, merci beaucoup. I can't thank you enough for how much Coffee Break French has done for me. I love watching Netflix shows in French. Lisa, that's fantastic to hear. We're so glad that you're enjoying your Coffee Break French experience and that it's helping you branch out into other things. And of course, it is so easy to get the content that you want to listen to or that you want to watch. Obviously, when we are when we're learning a language, it's difficult sometimes when you're presented with so much material, and you go on Netflix and you can find out many seasons or series or films to watch, and sometimes you don't know where to start. But knowing more of the language can help you filter down what you really want to watch, and then that way you're getting access and more experience of the way in which native speakers will use the language through something that's enjoyable to watch. You're distracted, you're following the story and so on, but you're also learning at the same time. So thank you for your contribution there, and thank you for using the code. Peter's asking also, can we pay for a course now and start it a few months? Absolutely, yeah. And we would definitely say, if you're going to plan to do some learning in the new year, then buy the course now while the sale is on, and then you can start it whenever it suits you. These are you get the course for as long as you need. There's no time limit on it, and it's not as if you're working through the course with other people at the same time. You can work through the course at your leisure, and our team will be there to help you. Okay, so let me see if we've got any other questions. No more questions at the moment. One thing I wanted to mention just before we finish, and that is that if you are interested in finding out more about the future of Coffee Break Languages, then we would suggest that you tune into a special event on the 5th of December. And this event is called Switch On Your Language Learning. Can't say too much more about that now, but you can find out more about that on the 5th of December. That's a week on Monday, and we are very excited to be sharing some really cool information with you on that day. But as I said, today we are focusing on our Black Friday sale. I've gone through all of our courses, our Coffee Break French courses. I hope it's been useful to you. You can get 40% off all of those courses by using the coupon code BF22. And to find out all the information that you need, head to coffeebreaklanguages.com/BF22. I would like to thank you very much for joining us today. I hope that you've found this useful, and I wish you continued success in your language learning. There's a lovely expression in French that we can use. It's bonne continuation. So literally good continuation. And that's what I would like that's what I would like to wish you today. Bonne continuation, bon weekend, and of course, as ever, happy coffee breaking. Thanks for joining me, and we'll be back soon with more Coffee Break French.